guys, it's Crystal here, and welcome back to Politics in Pajamas. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me. Today I'm going to talk about how things are going with the Democratic primary, how things are going between, the two factions of the Democratic Party that have become really clear between the moderates and the progressives. And I promise by the end of this video, I will let you know if I am planning, as a Bernie Sanders supporter, to vote for Joe Biden if he is the nominee. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing and liking this video. They're both totally free for you and they help me out so much. So I just wanted to get on and talk a little bit about how things are going with the Democratic primary, because they're not going the way that I want them to, obviously. I am a Bernie Sanders supporter and Joe Biden is currently the front runner, and it is feeling more and more likely that he might get the nomination. If you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, I encourage you to still go out and vote and support him, because things change very quickly, as we've learned, and it could easily swing back in the other direction. I made a video about 3 things that I think, if they happen, they would drastically help Bernie win the nomination, which I'll link below, so go ahead and check that out. But being realistic, which maybe this is bad to say, I am thinking that Joe Biden is probably going to be the nominee. And it's very upsetting to me because I feel like we've gotten so close as progressives to getting somebody in office who we truly believe in, who's been fighting for these causes for decades, and to see it just get ripped out from under us after a coordinated effort by the establishment party to basically handpick Joe Biden to be the nominee has been emotional for me. And it's been made more emotional for me because I feel like after the last few weeks, I've really seen the true colors of a lot of the moderates in the Democratic Party who I thought I was fighting with. And it has really felt like I'm fighting against them now. A lot of them were extremely freaked out at the idea of Bernie Sanders getting the nomination. They made that clear. They came on my page and posted about it or responded to some of my tweets. And some of these people were people that I hadn't interacted with in over a decade that I didn't even know still followed me on Facebook. And so it was a little bit jarring to realize how anybody but Bernie they were. And it was upsetting to me because they had spent so much time saying that we need to vote blue no matter who. But the second that a candidate they didn't like was the front runner, they changed course on that or just stopped talking about it. And MSNBC anchors were saying that people thought another 4 years of Trump might be better than Bernie Sanders. So then Joe Biden took the frontrunner status, and it suddenly felt like they were saying blue no matter who again, as though none of that had happened. But obviously it did happen, and it's really hard to buy into it knowing that progressives are only the only people who are ever asked to fall in line. So when Trump was elected, I was completely devastated. I do not want to see him elected again. The night that he was elected, I cried. The next day, I took off work. I went to a protest in Chicago. During that time, I was posting a lot for Hillary Clinton, even though I had voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. By the time the general election came around, I was very much supporting Hillary Clinton and telling people to vote for her. And it was devastating when those efforts didn't pay off, because I knew at that time how awful Trump was going to be. And I think in a lot of ways, he's proven to be worse than I thought that he could be. So a lot of people on that night were texting me like their team had won the Super Bowl and I had lost. And that felt awful because to me, it wasn't a Super Bowl. It was my life. And I was devastated finding out that, these policies that are important to me were not going to be enacted. So around that time, I lost a lot of Trump supporters, followers, I would say, like on my Facebook and my Twitter, because I was very, very against Trump. And some of those people I unfriended, some of those people unfriended me. It was kind of a mix of things. And it was a lot. I was in a state of grief, and they were basically telling me that I could suck it. So it was sad. And what I've noticed over the last few weeks is that people that I thought I was fighting with, moderate Democrats, are also abandoning me because I've been very pro-Bernie during this primary. I don't make a secret of that. These are, again, policies that affect my life, whether or not I can see a doctor and whether or not I die. Policies that affect people I know, like marijuana legalization, $15 minimum wage, student loan forgiveness, medical debt forgiveness. These are not, you know, whether or not we're gonna have yellow buses or orange buses. This is the day-to-day of my life, and it's on the line. And finding out that moderate Democrats not only don't support those policies, but would actively like to work against them has been just awful for me. So the other thing that happens, though, is that when I lose people or I lose followers, I gain new groups of supporters. So I'm seeing people interact with my stuff that haven't interacted, and they're supportive of the pro-Bernie stuff. And those are the people that I'm trying to reach. Those are the people that I'm trying to speak to. That's the people I'm trying to give a voice to, because they need it, a voice. And I hope that by putting myself out there, other people are inspired to put themselves out there, because we have so much power in our words, especially on social media these days. You're talking to people you have influence over. And, you know, my goal is that if you see that I can share stuff about Bernie and not die, that maybe you can put yourself out there a little bit too, even if it is a little bit scary. I have been getting this question a lot about whether or not I'm going to support Joe Biden if he is the nominee. And obviously I'm giving it a lot of thought. I live in Illinois, so if I, for some reason, did not vote for Joe Biden in the general election, it wouldn't impact the outcome of things. I would obviously vote Democrat down ballot. And I honestly, right now, today, I don't want to vote for Joe Biden. It's awful. It's awful. His supporters have been awful to me. You know, they've been calling me names and reporting my post, even though there was nothing in them to report. I got suspended from Twitter for something that I posted that was anti-Biden because somebody reported it, even though there was nothing wrong with the post. And you know, seeing moderates say that they would have voted for Trump if Bernie was the nominee doesn't make it easy to say that I'm going to sit here and support Biden if he's the nominee. And it's been kind of heartbreaking. You know, I think I put too much faith in these people and this cause and the Democratic Party, and then to realize that, like, not only do they not care, they actively are against the things that I'm, you know, trying to accomplish in this country and the hope that I have for our country to be a better place. So right now, no, I don't want to. But I have a lot of time to change my mind. I will say that, you know, calling me horrible names is probably not going to be the thing that changes my mind. I know that objectively I can sit here and say that Joe Biden is a better option than Donald Trump, but Joe Biden is not going to do the things that we need to do to move forward. He's only going to take us backwards. And maybe backwards is okay because it's a little bit better than our current situation, but it's not where I want to go. And I'm feeling sick of of Democrats expecting me to fall in line no matter what candidate they put up, because no matter who they're running, it's going to be better than the Republican. And I've done that. I voted for John Kerry. I knew John Kerry was a horrible candidate and he lost. I knew that Hillary Clinton was a horrible candidate and I fell in line and she lost. And now we're going to do it all again. And you know what the worst part is? If Joe Biden loses, all of these moderate Democrats are not going to blame Joe Biden. They're going to blame all of the Bernie supporters still. It will still be Bernie's fault if Joe Biden loses. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and I'm still being accused of helping Trump win by not voting for Hillary Clinton. I've publicly said that I voted for Hillary Clinton multiple times, and I'm lumped into this group of people who supposedly helped Trump win, which is infuriating. So that's my take on things. If your state is coming up in the primaries, please, please, please vote. You have to vote. If you want this country to get better, you want your life to get better, you have to vote. You have to be heard. Because right now, the people who are being heard are not agreeing with a lot of the things that we want in this country. And the only ones who are really heard are the ones who vote. And make sure your friends vote. Make sure your family votes. Drag them to the polls. There's a lot of early voting. I will link voting information down below. And get out there and support Bernie Sanders if that's what you believe in, because the only way we're going to win is if we fight. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.